walk me through the process of starting this company. Did you feel a need, like you recognized the utility of red light, but you realized your room didn't have enough of it? Like, walk me through how you started it, that whole process. I'm very curious.
Yeah, so when I first started, I was still working with my clients at the time. And as I said, we were already starting to focus on light environment. And the idea was, the more time you can spend outside getting natural light sun exposure, the more your health's going to improve. And I definitely saw that with myself and my clients. But the problem is most of us don't have the luxury of being able to spend hours outside in the morning. And I think that's where, that's what red light therapy does, is it bridges that gap between we can't go back and live exactly as our ancestors did. As much as we want to, we are living modern lives. I still have to work inside during the day. You said as well, you're still got school or whatever. There are still times where you are unfortunately inside. So red light therapy is now a way where you can supplement with red and infrared light, which is the most dominant type of light from sunlight, in a much shorter time period. So with the devices that we've created, essentially in 5 to 8 minutes, you can supplement with enough red and infrared light to see you through the day. And that's going to still give you the benefits of improving your light environment. I will never say that we can replace sunlight, because there are other factors, like you need UV light to make vitamin D, and that still is important. However, in bridging that gap between modern society and how our ancestors lived, red light therapy is an extremely effective tool at bridging that. And that's why, you can go into any scientific database and type in red light therapy and, its benefits. You'll see there's very drastic improvements in the literature. And the reason that we see such big improvements comes down to the fact that there is just this huge disconnect between how we're living now versus how our ancestors lived. And as soon as you bridge that gap, you see massive improvements in sleep quality. People have faster muscle recovery. The energy levels are better. Inflammation is drastically decreased with red light therapy. So actually, I shared a study this morning with our email newsletter, and it was about the effects of red light therapy on COVID. And there's been basically a bit of a struggle with the type of inflammation that comes from COVID, because it's been mediated through a different pathway. And with infrared light, they've actually shown now that they're able to reduce this inflammation from COVID by 80% in cell structures. And that's like people aiming it directly at their chests and their backs. So it's really important that I think you have that kind of base understanding of how red light therapy works. You're getting yourself a little bit closer to nature, because when you go into the scientific research and you see the benefits, they really are drastic. And there are these really big levels of improvement. But again, it just comes down to that bridging that gap between a pillar of health that people aren't paying enough attention to. So there is this massive room for improvement.